Hey guys, it's Mo Clark checking in with Upscale Magazine. Super excited to have the lovely Miss Angel join me today. So, Angel, how are you?
I'm amazing. How are you?
I'm pretty good. So, first of
Okay.
all, congratulations to you
Thank you.
on everything that you have going on. I
Yes.
know when they presented the awards, they showed us some of your movie clips and they let us know what a philanthropist you are and,
Yes.
how you're very much involved with the community as well as having your own branding of scrubs, I
Yes.
believe.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yes.
I appreciate the line of scrubs as well because I'm in the medical field. I'm remote now, right?
Mm.
But if I was still in the hospital, baby, I would be in your scrubs because they
Oh,
are so
wow.
cute.
Yes.
They're
Thank you
so
so
cute.
much.
So with all the things that you do with the acting, with being in the community, all of those things that I just mentioned, how do you find time and balance for all of those things?
Um, I think right now what I try to do is try to figure out what's going to be the most important for me throughout the week. So each day I give myself like, okay, today I'm going to give Life Angels 80% because yesterday I gave my kids 80%. So I'm going to give them maybe 30% today and give my business this so much. So I try to break it down and just in a percentage wise. And then it kind of helps me also understand if I'm working on something for Monday, if I'm working on my kids and going to work or something as far as acting or studying, I do everything I try to do that day so it could be less work for me throughout the week so I can put more focus on the other things that I need to focus on throughout the week as well. And that didn't come easy. That kind of came with like, how am I juggling and balancing all this without going crazy? So I kind of started learning that method and it started working great for me.
So you're actually a RN by trade, right?
By what?
By trade. You're RN, right?
Yes.
You're still very much in the field. Okay, so what made you decide to say, okay, you know what? I want these cute scrubs. I want to look cute. I want my body to be fit. I want to make fun of this whole thing with the use of color patterns, all of those things.
Okay, so always was like a fashion girl. Always liked to design. Always liked to create. My grandmother, she is she was one of the biggest seamstress in New Orleans. So I think it just kind of came natural for me to have like, oh, I want to just design this. I want to cut this up, put stone. Just always was doing something as far as fashion. But also too, I always had like a passion for helping people, like the compassion side. Like if I was when I was a little girl, if somebody was sick, I was always the one to be like, how can I help? What can I do? But
Hmm.
I kind of was always afraid of the blood stuff, to be honest. Like I just never really thought that I would be seeing that. And kind of still to this day, when I see like a big open something, I'll be like, ooh. But it's like that side of me to know, like, I got to get in there and I got to help and I got to put my fears and everything to the side to help this individual. Actually, when my mom, I was like 15 and she had exploratory surgery. And with her insurance, they sent her home with an open cut. And they sent her home with also a home health care nurse. But they
Hmm.
only paid for it for a certain time. And it was like, you have to have somebody to come help you. We have to show someone to help you. My mom had five girls, but it really wasn't nobody else around but us. And I'm like the second to the
Right,
oldest. And
right.
so my mom was like, Angel, get in here and come to it. I was like, no, not me, anybody else. Like, because I just was always a fear of seeing things that open. And then it was my mom, like, Ma, I don't want to see you like that. But it was no one else to help her. And I was like, my mom need me. And she
Yeah.
is the one that's like providing. She was raising five kids by herself. And I was like, whatever I gotta do to put whatever to the side so I can just give her this and give her that love, compassion, and whatever it is, I gotta step up and do it. And so I was
Yeah.
like, forget it. What I need to do, I'm in there with the gloves on, learning the sterile technique at 15 to just be there for my mom and to help her as much as I can at that young age. And I think that's when it started. I had to realize like it's not about me. It's about what can you do to help others and put your fears, put your feelings to the side and do what you got to do because God's gonna give you everything you need to perform. So you just go ahead and do what you got to do. So that's where it started as far as my passion for the healthcare. And I was like, wow, I could do this. So that's
Yeah.
when it started.
Well, we definitely love nurses like you. Definitely love that because when we are, just being in the hospital and on the floors, you see so much, even with people dealing with their families and their families not really wanting to come in the room and have those experiences like you experienced. So
Yeah.
it's almost like you have to step in and become somebody's daughter or their loved one as
Yes.
well. Do your job because they're there for health reasons and they also have mental things going on as well.
Yes.
So kudos to you on
Yeah.
that. We love that. And people don't realize that when you take this oath in healthcare, that follows you outside of the hospital.
It does.
If someone's hurt on the side of the road, like you're not supposed to just drive by.
Yeah, yeah.
You
The
take an
Good
oath where
Samaritan
you're
Act.
supposed to. Yeah,
That's what it's called.
you're supposed to help and do all of those things. So
Yeah.
definitely commend you on that. You have an amazing personality for it. I see
Thank
you
you.
in that. So love
Yeah.
that for you.
Yeah,
Now,
it's about being
you-
the patient advocate, and like you were speaking of the Good Samaritan Act, like you gotta step in there and see what you can do to help others. And it comes back tenfold. Everything that you put out, it's gonna come back to you. So I believe in always being a good person and try to do as much as you can and treat people how you want to be treated because it's gonna come back. As I'm learning and as I'm getting older, everything goes in a circle. And so
Absolutely. You
I'm
ain't
gonna show
telling a lie
blessings.
about that. Absolutely. Amen.
Yeah.
So, with all of the different things that you're involved in, I love asking people this because I've had it happen to me in my own life. So, it intrigues me on how others handle it. Have you ever had people saying, "Oh, you're doing too much. You might need to just focus on this or just focus on that one thing." And if you've ever had that happen, how did you navigate through that?
And it's crazy because I don't know how to be any other way. I'm a thinker. And it's like I got this hustle entrepreneur mentality. And it's like, yes, I do have this going on, but my passion, I have another passion for something else. Like I want to develop this. And I think nothing's wrong with that because like having several streams of income, like that's who's going to get you where you need to go. So if you have passions and you have desires to do other things and your heart is telling you to do that, like God is putting that in your heart, like he's giving it to you. So when you listening to the outside and people trying to
Absolutely.
discern you from what your mind and what God is telling you to do, it's not for them. He's giving it
Mhm.
to you. So you got to utilize that. And you need to be talking to God about what's going on versus listening to all that because that's distractions for you. So I don't tend to listen to, oh, you shouldn't do this and you shouldn't, and you get a lot of it. So I try not to even try to go there with it. Even with my scrub line, like when I was doing the acting, why don't you just focus on your acting? Like you're doing so good. And I'm like, but people need to look good in this healthcare field. Like, this is different because I
Yeah.
when I came out of school, nursing school, I mean, I always had that passion for healthcare, but I wanted to be a lawyer because of how they looked. When they came in with them cute little tailored suits and I was like, oh, I could look good being a lawyer. But I was like, that's just not me. And so I was like, but I got to create something to make us look good as nurses because you go to school all this time, all these years, and we have to put on this, like
Yeah.
it looked like mocks. Like why can't we look good? Why can't we look like we get like give us something? So it wasn't there, and I graduated 2010. The material was uncomfortable. The style was very bad. It wasn't appealing. So by my grandmother being a seamstress, I was like, Grandma, like can you help me? Because I didn't sew. She was a seamstress. She did pattern making. She did my samples. She did everything for me. So I would design it. I would sketch it. I'd be like, I want it to look like this. And she would put it together and I was the model and I would try on the samples. I was like, okay. So when I first started off, she would make, 10 of these and 10 of these. And then when it
Wow.
started picking up, I was like, okay, like I'm getting good feedback. This is great. It kind of started off just kind of, the basic colors and the basic style, but the material was amazing. The comfort was amazing. The fit was great. And so I was
Yeah.
like, wow, I'm getting great feedback and customers are really liking this. Let's try to, step it up a notch. Let's put some zippers on it. Let's change it up. Let's make it look like you can put this on when you go to work, but when you come home, you can
Yes.
actually go to, have a happy hour, put on some heels with
Yes.
it and still look cute. So we did that. And then as time went on, I started to advance it with the like the technology type material where it's spill proof and the wrinkle resistant, things like that. And
Yes.
so it started picking up and it started going really, really well. And then 2016, my brother was my brother was murdered. And so we kind of took it really, really hard.
Mhm.
And at that time, my grandmother, I remember seeing her and she just didn't look well in her face. And I was running around because I'm like one of the like those like I'm the person in my family where I'm the go-to. Everybody kind of like, what
Yeah,
are we gonna do, Angel?
you're the
And
glue.
so yeah, my role is really, really hard in my family. It's not hard, but I'm just that one that responsible for a lot of, things that happens. So it was like I'm running around with my dad, because actually that was his only son, and he just needed me. So I'm running around getting all the funeral arrangements and everything together. And I remember stopping by my grandmother and just checking on her, and she just didn't look well. And I was like, Grandma, we gotta bring you to the hospital. Something don't look good. And I'm like, because I can't deal with you, going through
Right.
something at this time. And she was like, okay, baby, all right, come, just do whatever. And I remember calling an ambulance for her and we went seeing her. And then the next day, I'm running around getting some other things together for my brother's funeral. And they called us, and she was in ICU and they were coding her. And they was like, y'all gotta get here really fast because like she's going down. And every time we try to, give the medications that she needs to bring her up and she'll stay up, but she's going back down. And I was like, what? This is not happening.
Mhm.
um, I'm laughing. Sometimes I laugh because to prevent
It
yourself from going into a
yeah,
deeper place,
yeah.
it hurts me. So I'll laugh, I'll smile, but things be kind of challenging. So I'm like, okay. But yeah, so back to that, we walked in and it was actually coding her. And my dad looked at me, what should we do, Angel? Like, you the nurse, what should we do? But I'm like, she's been down for on and off 10, 15 minutes. And I'm like, the things that she would have to do to recover and the amount of fusion going through certain organs in her body, it's just she won't be right, she won't be the same. And they're telling me like, this, and then for her to be old and they constantly doing the compressions on her, I'm like, wow, this is hurting her more than anything. And I think it's about we had to make I had to help make that call, and that was the hardest thing for me.
Yeah.
So that this was what, day 3 of getting the funeral together for my brother, and I was like, "Okay, now we have to figure this out for my grandmother?" And I was like, "We can't do this twice. This gotta happen at the same time." So, we end up having a double funeral for my mom. I'm really sharing probably too much, but I'm I'm
No, no,
just
no. You're good.
okay, so I just we had a double funeral for my brother and my grandmother, at that same time, and that was the hardest thing because she was the one actually helping me curate Life Angels. She was the one to help me pull together my samples and my patterns and what it should look
Mhm.
like and giving me all these amazing ideas. She was a seamstress all her life, like 50, 60 something years. So everybody in New Orleans knew her. If you wanted something made, y'all was going to Miss Octavia. Like she was just that one. And when she passed, Life Angels just gave me something more to hold on to because it was almost like keeping her alive and keeping her legacy alive. And throughout all of that, and growing up in New Orleans, it's not the easiest place. We grew up kind of like in an inner city, and my mom was, a parent of 5 girls, raising them on their own. My strength and my spiritual side started to tap in more because I'm like, I need something to cope with this. What's going to help me get through certain things? And I started praying more. I started praying more. And the more I prayed, I realized the more God was just so real and so strong and so amazing to help us overcome anything that we encounter in our lives.
Yeah.
So the more I prayed, the stronger I got.
Mhm.
And with that being said, that's where I'm at today. Like, I'm a mom, I'm a single mom. I got my 2 kids, and it's me, and I'm just really doing it. And sometimes I wake up and I'm like, how am I doing
Wow.
it?
Yeah.
How am I doing it? But how I'm doing it is because before I go to bed, I'm praying. When I wake up, before I get out of my bed, I'm praying.
Yeah.
And throughout everything I'm going through, I see God in everything.
Yeah.
So It kept me strong with Life Angels. So even going into that hospital to really put my feelings aside and help take care of another patient and their family, and knowing that I was too, a person who lost somebody strong and somebody who was important to them in their lives, or somebody who
Yeah.
was sick. I was that same person. So it's not us just taking care of that patient, it's taking care of the whole family as a whole and being an amazing advocate for that
Yeah.
patient and showing really good patient and care. And I just carry it with me. So I walk in, I think when I look good, which is my uniforms, I feel good, right? And then
Absolutely.
on my uniforms, I have a scripture, and it's Proverbs 31:25. And this is on my jumper. It says, she's clothed in strength and dignity, and she laughs without the fear of the future, right? So I got that on me too. I look good. I'm going in this room and I feel like where we start is holistic care. It's healing yourself from the inside out. And so when you look good, you feel good. You walk in your patient's room, all you're doing is exuding amazing energy to that
Yes.
patient. They don't have no other choice but to start feeling good too. It's about what you carry, your vibe, your energy. So I believe in that as well. So when we look good, we feel good, and we put our uniforms on, and then we walk into that room. So it's not just about the clothes, it's about what it makes you feel
Yeah.
like.
Yeah.
So that's what Life Angel is for me. And putting that scripture on me, it just lets me know like I'm fearless, I'm clothed, I'm strength. And it's not about your clothes, it's about what you have in you, what God is putting in you. And that's what makes me go. Life Angels is my thing right now. And I
Yeah.
got this question somebody asked me, and it was like, were you afraid to incorporate God in your line? Because some people, they may not pray to God. They might, and I was like, wow. I said, no, I wasn't afraid, because if they not if they're not on the same waves as me, my clothes are not for them. That's just what it is.
Period. Period.
That's
That's
not,
it.
it's not for you, because I know what it do for me. And if it don't do the same thing for you, then maybe it's not for you. And everything's not for everybody, but God is for me. So that's just what it is.
And I totally agree. I feel like when you look good, you feel good, you do good, right? Because I have been in every walk of life, even down to taking up makeup, wanting to be a lawyer, all of those things that you said. And it's
Yes.
just like anytime you're having a moment where you feel down, you know how many times I done beat my face just to go to Walmart? Just
Okay.
because
Okay.
just because it's like, okay, I'm here,
Yes. Yes.
that's what you're gonna get. So let's dive into the acting aspect of
Okay.
you. How in the world can you possibly learn your lines and be an RN and do all of these things? Because
So,
I'm assuming that a lot of times you're off book for the most part. So
yeah.
how are you getting into these moments?
Well, okay, so for nursing, by my other side of my life is kind of scaling up as well. I work as contract, like per diem, PRN. So it's almost like I can pick and choose when I want to go to work. So it's
Absolutely.
that. And then as far as just learning my lines, if I know I got a role and I booked, that's it. I'm in it. I'm in it. And that helps. It's almost like therapy for me as well, because you're not you. You can tap into those moments and be vulnerable. And if you want to cry and scream and whatever you going through, you got a husband and he was cheating on you and it's your role. Oh girl, it's your time to do whatever. Whatever you gotta do to lash out and release, you could do this because you're not Angel. I'm not Angel. I'm
Yes.
Keisha from Uptown, and I'm about to we going in. Where's she at? Oh, who waiting?
Have
And
you ever had a moment where you're portraying this character and you're so deep in it that you gotta like when it's time to pull yourself out, it's like, oh my God, it took forever for me to get out.
Yes, 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 yes. And it's very hard, especially when you tapped in and you're really, really deep. Oh my God. It's been times where it took me a while and I'm still emotional and I'm still crying because I still feel myself in that moment.
Yeah.
And I haven't really learned that part, but I think for me, it's just understanding like whenever it kind of subsides, it's just gonna just let it go. You're back. You're not that person. Let it go, tap out of it. But I like to kind of sometimes stay in those moments, especially if I have another scene or I have something to do. Like,
Yeah.
let me just live here. Let me stay here,
Yes.
and because I'm here already. And sometimes it kind of takes you a while to get there. So if I'm here already, let me stay in this moment. Let me cry. Let me be mad. Let me be angry. And and then you got people who may not know what's going on. They walking by like, what's wrong with her? Like, but I'm in my moment. So I think yeah, I've had those moments. And when it first happened to me, it was very scary because I'm like, oh, I don't know how to come out. I
Yeah.
still feel this. Yeah, it was scary. But as I'm learning and as I'm getting deeper involved in it, it's a part of the art. It's a part of the craft. So I'm glad I'm able to get that deep and go there where I need to go for a scene or for a role.
I love that. I had that moment, and the on the show, the girl that was playing my best friend, she had actually left the show in real life,
Oh wow.
but in this scene, she's missing, and I accidentally got sad in real life because I knew she was not coming back to the show for real, for real.
Yes,
So
yes,
as
yes,
we're doing this scene, my eyes really start watering up, and I'm having that moment like, this is gonna be great, but this is so sad.
yes,
Like I'm
yes,
so sad. So I understand, the trying to snap out of it and not pull back. That
yes,
was very real. But you mentioned
yes.
you had daughters, so are you at all, cautious when it comes to taking on the roles that you take on because they're going to see it, they're going to watch it, and you still, even though it's acting, you still have a reputation. So are you at all cautious about the roles that you take on?
Um, so far, the roles that I have played, I haven't did anything that would make me feel hesitant that my daughter can't see it.
Mhm.
So I haven't went that far yet with it, but I don't think I'll be afraid of it because I don't if it's something that she's not supposed to watch at this age, she won't watch it until she's old enough to understand that my mom was getting to the bag. So I get it. I understand what's going on because I go to a good school and I need a lot of great things, and she was doing what she had to do. So I'm okay with that. Yeah, I'm okay with it, whatever comes.
When you're on set, has there been anybody that you were on set with that you learned from and you took away from, like, oh, so and so taught me this and I'll always remember that? Has that happened, and who was that for you?
Mm. KJ, I work with KJ on Sisters. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
KJ is a great actress. She was really, really good. I played side by side with her, and it was a movie called Available Wife, and
Yes.
um and we were reading lines, and she came off like, "Oh, just read her lines," and I'm reading my lines like, "This is what we gonna do," I'm gonna say this, and then whatever, whatever. But we get in scene, baby. She was somebody totally different. Like, when I say tapped in, I was like, "Oh, I didn't know she was coming like that." Like, it just threw me all the way off, right? But I learned so much from that moment. I learned that it's almost like you studying to understand what you have to do, how you're going to come into this, and how
Yeah.
strong you're going to be. Um, and also too, it's just like, understanding just the whole dynamic of what's going on, who you going up against, and
Mhm.
understanding that part of it. And then just understanding the character. So the breakdown of the character, even for me to see her in that way,
Yeah.
which it all worked out amazing because she played this character where she was dating my father, but my father died and she stole his record label. And
Mhm.
so a character like that, you got to come off strong. You got to come off like devious, like, oh, and I played it, I think, the same way. Like, I'm just like, how dare you do this? Like, who are you? Like, I didn't even see this. Even just playing it out on the side of us just reading out, going over our lines. But now I see you for who you are. Oh, I see now. So it
Yeah.
all played out and it all worked out. But I learned, I learned amazing things from her. And she taught me some really great tips on the side. And yeah, she's dope. I like her.
So at this point in your career, acting wise, who would you say is the one person you feel like you just absolutely have to work with in the industry before you retire, when you get your Oscars and all of that stuff? Who is it that Angel has got to work with?
Who I gotta work with. I'm sure it's so many people who I would want to work with. Um, I don't even know if he's still produced, but I love Quentin Tarantino movies. I love his.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Yeah, he was amazing. I always liked him as a director. He was really, really amazing. I'm sorry, can you hold 1 second?
Yes.
They not even babies, they big kids, but they be like, they're always gonna be my little babies.
Yeah, that happens. Mine just turned 23 and I'm still out buying her stuff. So,
That just mean you're a great mom. You'll never, say you can always be there. That's good.
yeah. So, the person you want to work with, Quentin
I love
Tarantino.
50. I love 50 Cent too, though. I like BMF. I mean, that's something else I would love to
You
do
want
that
to be a
too.
man.
Yeah, I want to do BMF. I think
You
BMF.
want to play a thug, don't you?
It's in me a little bit. I grew up uptown New Orleans, 17. Like, so in real life, I've experienced a lot of traumatic things. So, I mean,
Mhm.
it's just in me to tap into that side. And, I've been wanting to release some stuff.
Well, you can always just write it yourself at this
Yes.
point.
Yes.
We are definitely in the age of, and I think it's so amazing, and I say it a lot. I'm like, oh my god, if YouTube was around when I was a teenager, you know
Yes.
the girls are wearing the synthetic weaves now, and when I was doing it, everybody wanted the jet black sew in with the bangs, and I'm like, oh my god, I could have been winning. You know,
Yes.
I could
Yes.
have been winning with the crunched up ponytails with the hair on.
Okay.
But it is what it is. So definitely. Kudos to you and everything that you're doing. You have an amazing spirit, and
Thank you.
if you ever want to write, let's write. Let's
Yeah,
do it.
no, no, seriously. Yeah, let's do it. Seriously.
Let's write some stuff, because I have played a thug on TV as well. It's
Yes.
definitely it wasn't in me though.
It wasn't in you? Okay. Yeah, it's a little,
But it was a reach for me. Like, have you ever done a role that was such a reach for you and so opposite of who Angel really is? And how did you take that role on? Because it's a reach.
It is, and it's hard. But sometimes I'm realizing, like, if it's not for you and you can't deliver and you don't even really want to portray that image, I turn stuff down. Like, nah, I'm not gonna be able to do it.
You do.
So that's yeah.
You get a little bit curious as to how you can pull it off just a little bit.
Well, I haven't gotten those type of roles yet, but something that I just know, like, I just don't want to do. I'm not doing it, or I know that I can't really deliver on or see myself doing. I ain't gonna do it. I'm gonna turn it down. But there are things that I do want to do when I just should, just just explore and do something different. And because it's not when I did reality TV, it was like you really are you, and people, your fans, they see you. You can't get out of that. You went
Mm,
crazy on that girl. You beat that girl up. That's you. You crazy. And
right.
it stuck to you. As for me and as a nurse, it was just like I can't wear that hat. Like, they gonna really think I'm crazy. And like,
Yeah.
how can you ever come out of that? So yeah, I think reality TV versus movie wise, it's a different type of world, and it's a better world for me. So, but yeah.
Yeah. So what's up next for you?
What's up next? Taking Life Angels to a whole nother category, a whole nother place for me. I think I want to see Life Angels in stores. I want to see Life Angels just way bigger than where it is. And then
Mhm.
it's almost like just introducing it to a whole nother side of bringing fashion into the healthcare, and
Mhm.
giving us you know, that I don't know. I don't know what it is, but I guess I don't know that I wouldn't want to say motivation, but it gives us um whatever that girl needs to make her feel like I'm that girl. I feel good today. Just like you said, when you say, okay, I'm going to put on makeup. I know I'm who that is. Sometimes we just get in our moments and we just feel down and we feel depressed. And you be like, girl, do you know who you are? You
Yes.
are blessed. You are strong. You can do anything. Like, don't let anybody or anything make you
Yeah.
feel like you are defeated. So
But pick me up.
putting that, yeah, so I don't know what that is, I don't know what that is, but I wanna give give them that thing to know, like, I'm that girl, and it's nothing can hold me back, and it's nothing that's gonna make me feel like I'm less than who I am today, and it's not about really clothes or makeup or anything,
Yeah.
but if you gotta do that extra something to tap that magic to say, "She's back," then that's what it is.
Yeah.
So,
You want to give them their restoration back.
yeah, yeah, that fulfillment, like, "Girl, I'm her."
Yeah.
So
Save lives with a cake. That's what we doing.
yes. Look, girl, yes, yes. So yeah,
Well,
I wanna take Life Angels to that whole different place and I also want to start encouraging and speaking out to the younger generation, the younger girls, those girls that don't have somebody that can look up that they feel like is a great role model, because
yeah.
I mean, growing up in New Orleans, I didn't see a whole lot of girls that came back and talked and encouraged me or,
Mhm.
inspired me to do certain things or even told me what I need to do, what's my steps, and sometimes you just need that somebody to kind of help you and guide you.
Yeah.
So just giving up that blueprint. So yeah, I want to, however God's going to use me, that's what I want to do.
Absolutely. Well, I
Okay.
am here for it. I'm excited. You're definitely well on your way with your marketing that you're
Thank you.
doing.
Thank you.
Amazing. Keep doing marketing, keep putting content out there because you're definitely, known. You're known. Your brand is known. I
Yes.
knew about your brand before I knew about you being an actress. And I don't even like, I'm not even in the field. I'm not even, on site anymore. But I knew, and I was thinking, "Man, why in the world would this lady do this after I'm not here?"
Wow. Wow. I
You
did
know,
that one and it was so I did one video and this is when I kind of like rebirthed Life Angels because like once I went through a lot of things, I kind of just went on hiatus and just took a little break from a lot of things. But
yeah.
when I went back and I've been working on this jumpsuit for a while and I got a lot of other things coming out for Life Angels as well, like new designs, almost like putting together a fashion show for
And
that healthcare
just
field.
put together a fashion show.
Yeah, so I'm doing a fashion show, I'm doing a fall line. It's just gonna be like, like why not? We don't have this. So that's what I'm
Yeah.
creating for Life Angels. But I did this one video, the video just went viral. Like, oh my God, like I got so many orders and so many hits. And I think that really just did. And it was just natural. It was a natural video. I'm just walking in the hospital. Okay, let me just sit my phone up and while I'm just doing
Those are
this.
always the ones where you don't try.
Yes, yes.
That's
So it
what.
went good. Yep, it did. It did really, really well. So yep, that's where I'm at with it. And that's what it
Well,
is.
tell all of our readers and our viewers where they can find you at your product, your movies, everything about Angel.
So my handle on Instagram is I love Angel the number two. I love Angel, the number two. And that's almost everywhere. Life Angels is shoplifeangels.com, www.shoplifeangels.com. My IMDb page is up. That's a link in my bio on Instagram. And that's where you can find me. And make
I'm
sure you
already following you, so
okay, good. And in this interview, catch me on Upscale.
absolutely super
Yes.
exciting. Make sure you Angel follow me back, follow
Yes.
Upscale,
Okay.
and we got to blast this interview to let the ladies
Yes.
know because I might have to just buy some scrubs just on GP.
Yeah, you know what? And it's cute. You don't even have to be in the hospital. It's a really cute jumper to wear
Oh no,
out.
I'm going somebody.
It's just I got to be.
I
They
need
gonna
them
see
to
me.
see me.
Got to see me in this. I get it. Yep. Yeah. Yes. Yes. So that's
So
good.
thank you so much for taking the time out to interview me. You are super amazing,
Thank
and
you.
I can't wait to see where you go. How much
Yes.
further you go?
Thank you so much. Thank you. Well, just pray for me. That's all I ask. Just pray for me.
Oh,
Keep me
I
encouraged.
listen.
Uplift
I
me.
give out prayers. I take prayers. We love prayers.
Yes.
So
Yes.
that's what we're doing. So thank you so much. You have an
Thank you.
amazing day. Thank
Thank you
you.
so much. Thank you so much. Okay. Bye bye.